Hey guys, 681 Shadow. Welcome to week 2 of trades and transactions. Now, just to make sure that just make sure it's clear, these transactions I'll talk about here were made during week 2, which means they will be in effect for week 3 of the CPC. So our first transaction here is a trade between the Detroit Butterfrees and the Florida Feraligators. The Butterfrees trade their Roserade to the Feraligators, while the Feraligators trade their Empoleon. So for this trade, the Butterfrees are losing the especially offensive threat in Roserade. However, they are picking up a more specially defensive Mon that can also be a defogger in Empoleon. Empoleon is a great defogger. It takes reduced damage from it takes less damage than most things from rocks due to it being steel type, and also with Defiant, it you can't really switch an Intimidate on it because it has the Defiant. At least I'm pretty sure it has Defiant. Yeah, it has Defiant. I'm not making that up. But now, just with this trade, Detroit has now two water types. It's two steel types, but no grass type. So so with this trade, he lost his Fire Water Grass core in because his previous Fire Water Grass core was in Roserade, Azumarill, and Mega Houndoom. So he lost that core with this trade, and then on the Feraligatr side of this trade, um, they lost they lose a great defogger, which is Empoleon, but now they have a more specially offensive threat. And this trade actually allowed it's a trade off because it allowed the Florida Feraligatrs to have now a Firewater Grass core in. Let me just pull up the team so I give you the right mons. They can have a Firewater Grass core in Roserade. Wait, hold on, never mind. Am I looking at the wrong team? No, I'm not looking at the wrong team. Do they have a Firewater Grass? Yeah, they have. They probably do. I'm just like not looking at. Oh no, never mind. They don't have a Fire type. Okay, probably should have looked at that beforehand. That's like the one thing I forgot to look at. But um, before, but so um, they actually sacrificed their Fairy Dragon Steel Core to get Roserade, which is unfortunate. It's always good to have those cores, the Firewater Grass or the Fairy Dragon Steel. So hopefully, well, possibly he'll patch it. He'll patch up that core um, in the coming weeks with more transactions. And in CPC, it is 3 free agency. I probably should have said this earlier, but it is 3 free agencies and unlimited trades with, I believe, two. You can only trade 2 mons a week to another team. So that's really all I have to say for the Empoleon for Roserade trade. Our next transaction is that the Detroit Butterfrees drop Crobat and pick up Aerodactyl. So now this kind of goes in with the trade from earlier, the Roserade for Empoleon, because he's losing the Defogger in Crobat, but he's picking up a more offensive threat, being Aerodactyl. However, due to the trade which got him Empoleon, he now also has a defogger. So so they both help each other. So instead of having 2 mons for defog, he switched a specially offensive threat for a defogger, and then his other defogger he switched for a physically offensive threat, which I think that was a good set of transactions made by Anthony Zazo, or aka Iron Flash Gaming, coach of the Detroit Butterfrees. So now the final transaction of this week that will be in effect for week 3 is that the Golden State War Turtles drop Magneton and Latias to pick up Houndoom and Scizor. So the ups and downs here, the Golden State War Turtles lose. The really only downside is that they're dropping the very specially defensive threat in Latias to pick up Houndoom, and then it was very well, actually to pick up technically Scizor, I believe. Well, actually, I'm not sure of the tiering. Let me actually look at that right now just to be sure. Let's see. So Scizor is Okay, I must have been wrong. I'm not sure what tier Scizor. Yeah, so probably he dropped
Yeah, we should make
he
a
got
we should
Magneton for
walk to the
Scizor,
post office. What do you think?
but he so he so he lost the Latios and Magneton for the better Steel type Scizor and the Houndoom. So that's really it for the trade and transaction this week. There wasn't there were quite a few, and hopefully we have some better ones next week to talk about. So, yeah.